Okay, so welcome back to the 10-6 Diaries. So back at it with another episode. So this is my prep for the Welsh Championships. So I'm not actually Welsh, but you can enter as a guest, so that's what I did. So this was the day after doing the Yorkshire meet that I did. That was it was a little bit of a poor meet, honestly, but you know, it is what it is. I think everyone has those kind of days where you're just kind of not really feeling great. So yeah, not amazing, but obviously ran under 11 with the 1091 plus 2.1 wins, so still have some of that confidence going in. I think my biggest sort of thing that I wanted to focus on was actually trying to build up some fatigue for the meet so that I could actually, you know, unload in the week of the meet and then, you know, push hard at the meet. But the issues I had was that I think the quality of my sprint sessions just weren't amazing. Like the flies that I did, so that's obviously like the lifts I did the day after, then had I think it was like a general day, a rest day, and then I did the sprints. And yeah, these sprints were just like not great quality. The only good quality one was the last one. I don't think I got a time on it, but I think I video timed it in about the I think it was about 3.08 or something like that. It wasn't amazing, honestly, but better than nothing, I guess. But that was the last rep, and like all the other reps were just really bad quality, and I just couldn't really get in a rhythm. So this was actually like after work, so I really think that's probably the main sort of factor at play for I guess this session. Just wasn't feeling great. I think just being on your feet all day for like 7 hours, you know, interacting with people all day, just kind of mentally and physically fried me a little bit. So I think that just explains why I was a little bit slower in this session, at least, and why I just wasn't able to really hit anything significant. So then my next session was actually really, really good. So I think possibly because my session was so bad on the Saturday, my Monday session was then really good. So it was 110 meters, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 110 meters that I was running, or maybe, yeah, 110 meter sprint, float, sprint. So sprinted 30, floated 40, sprinted the final, I think 50 meters or something, yeah. 50, 40, no, sprinted the final 40 meters, yeah, 40, 40, 30. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, sprint, float, sprint on the curve. I ran really well for this session. Like I was very happy with things. I think still not amazing at running curves. Not really 100%. You know, I don't think I'm 100% good at running curves yet. I feel like there's still more to come with just like practice on the curve, but getting better certainly in this session felt really good. Like I felt like I floated well, I then came off the curve well. Everything felt quite good. The one thing I'd say is I would have liked to maybe try and maintain a little bit more on the float instead of decelerating, which I think I maybe did a little bit too much of. But I've got like so many angles because all my friends kind of came out for the session to just like join me for some sprints. So they did some like 20s, some like accelerations, I think some 40s. And yeah, I got them to all kind of like film, and I've got like 4 different angles of this sprint, which is quite cool. So the last rep was 12.62 no RT for the 110 on the curve, which is honestly not bad considering it's like a sub-max rep and on the curve. I feel like on that day I probably could have dropped like a 12.2 on the curve, 12.3 on the curve if I kind of just like burned it all the way from the start to the finish. But that's just what I think, I guess. That's not really based on any facts or anything. And I did some jumps as well. These jumps were actually up there with my highest of the year. This one was like 4 milliseconds off being my highest jump from a 2-step ever. So yeah, definitely in good shape on this day. I feel like I was really jumping well, and I probably could have ran some really fast sprints if I was going sort of all out. Definitely would have been in the sort of 10 meter per second range, but yeah, as I say, didn't sprint all out, kind of was just floating today, taking it, I guess, relatively easy, but it's still quite a neurally demanding session. But yeah, jumps felt really good. I also did some like box jumps with my friend. See my friend doing some box jumps as well. It's nice to have someone to like jump with that can actually, you know, jump high as well. That's always a plus. So here he is. He's an absolute behemoth. He's like 6'1", 95 kilos or something like that. Like he's just like that, you know. So cool to kind of see him get up. I really feel like he'd be a good bobsledder, honestly, if we, you know, train him up with some sprints. Been trying to get him out for sprint sessions, but he doesn't always come out for them. But it is good fun to have him out training always. Good to have someone to kind of like match that intensity when you're kind of training. It's nice to have a partner, I think. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic. But yeah, these jumps were really good as well. Like the straight leg box jump on, I think it was like 38.5 inches, and then the last one was 42. So this is 38.5, 39 inches, and then I think the last one was like 44.5. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that was just like the jumps. This is like the early in the week training. Later in the week, I can't actually remember what I did. I'll have to like wait for the video to like progress. So I think it was then a block session, yeah. So block session, and this session actually wasn't great. My hamstring felt a little bit tight. I think it was just sort of the intensity of the sessions, like the back to back to back sessions, that maybe just kind of like threw me off a little bit. But yeah, this session was not great. I think it was like 4.12. No RT 30 for the final rep, but yeah, just didn't really feel like I was, you know, projecting out of the blocks well. Nothing really felt amazing, like even like when I was getting into the more sort of upright running towards the end of the rep, I just didn't feel great. So yeah, it was not an amazing session. But that was sort of the prep for this race, so I'll hand you over to my sort of thoughts the day before my meet when I did the shakeout. Right, so I've just got down to the track for a little shakeout session today. So day before the Welsh champs, sort of been feeling quite good this week. Like jumps were really good on Monday. Wednesday's session was a little bit mid, but I didn't really get to do all of my sprints, so I actually feel like I could have run like even better for the final rep, but I did cut it because my hamstring just felt a slight bit, just felt strange honestly. I can't really describe the sensation. It just didn't feel like it was like good, so I just cut the session. I feel like, you know, if you get a bad vibe, it's probably just, you know, good to go off vibe sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shakeout session today, maybe do like a few 3-point starts, 10 metres, 95%-ish, not really pushing too hard. I've quite liked doing that the past few meets that I've done, so before I do that, I also have the jump mat today, which I like rarely bring out, but I let one of my friends borrow it up in Glasgow. He gave it back to me on Wednesday and I just haven't taken it out of my car since then, so it's like down there at the bottom. I don't know if you can really see it, but yeah, that's the plan for today. So then travelling down to Wales at, I think about 5 o'clock, I'll travel down to Birmingham, stay in Birmingham, then get the train to Wales on the day, and then train back up on the day and driving back up on the Saturday as well. That is the plan, just to kind of break the journey up. I don't want to do a whole kind of, I think it would be a good 5.5 hours from where I live if I drive down today, so I just didn't want to do that. I'd rather break it up into like sort of a 3.5 hour journey as opposed to just one super long journey. I feel like that at least makes it a little bit better. But yeah, that's the plan. So without further ado, I am going to get into my shakeout session as well. The shakeout session is being done round about the time I'll be running tomorrow, so I do quite like to try and line up my shakeout sessions roughly at the time that I'm like running or competing, just because I feel like it then kind of gets me in the, you know, I know what to sort of expect at that time of the day. I don't know, it's just kind of like a thing that I think is good for, I guess, consistency. But yeah, about to get the session in, so I will see you, I guess, after the session, maybe in Birmingham, I don't know, who knows.
changing that, don't we?
Derry, maybe in the field, and